you want. Being we've got a little space, you can go like this. And see that up there? Those little brown boxes, that's chocolate. So we're going to get our juggalo saplings. We're also going to get our chocolate. So let's go ahead and, being we're not going to want to spend all day at that, and we didn't bring an axe with us, let's make ourselves a crafting table. We won't need the compass in our hand until we're heading back. And we can leave it here if we don't want to carry it with us. And let's make a couple axes. This cost us 4 planks, but it's not really that much of a loss. And if we ever get stuck out in the future, we could always use this as a hiding hole place again. So until then, let's just leave it there, and we'll continue waiting out the night until the morning. Just in preparation for the next day, what I'm going to do is set aside a few items. So for instance, if worse comes to worse, and I need to open up some space, a few items that I would be willing to throw away, not happily, but I would still throw them away, would probably be items in this order. So I'd throw away the 1 single egg, some wheat, which I can still growing back in our cave, some of the raw beef, some of the leather. We'd like to keep the mushrooms if at all possible, and the oak saplings, but we can get rid of the oak wood because we can grow it when we get back to our cave. The seeds, not too crazy about throwing them out, but I'd be willing to. And most of the other items we want to keep, because these were the items we came searching for. But hopefully when we're cutting down the trees, we should use up our stone axes, so that'll be space that'll be saved. And our shears we'll still have, but everything else should be pretty well fine. And of course we got spider and a skeleton, so let's go ahead and take those out. Good, we got some string. And I hear the skeleton, but I don't see him anymore. Go ahead and sneak up around the side here, and go ahead and take them out. Now we want these chocolate, and we also want the tree. So let's go ahead and get to the high point here and see if we can cut down the whole thing. Okay, now, okay, there. We are able to jump up on top. Now that wood should decompose while we do this. Now we're probably going to want some of these vines, so let's go ahead and use the shears. And go ahead and cut down the rest of this tree. Before it decomposes, let's get all that. Okay, so I need, let's get rid of that first. Now we've got the, I said this is where it starts getting kind of iffy. Okay, we've got the jungle sapling, that's good. We'd like to keep the string because I'm trying to make a bow if we can, but it's not absolutely essential. So let's go ahead and help this decompose, and hopefully we'll get a few more saplings. One sapling is not all that good because it's possible we grow one tree and we won't get a sapling out of it. So if we can, we'd like to bring back more than just one. And we're only going to get one out of that one. So let's find ourselves another small. That one right there looks pretty good. The nice thing about the jungle wood, if you see some of these wild ones, they're 4 by 4 wide. They won't grow like that after, but if we ever are in serious need of wood, we can always come back and start cutting those down, and we can get a lot of wood really fast. Did we get any saplings at all? Got 3 so far. Here's another short one. I'm also trying to use up some of the axe because that'll free up the space for carrying more items back. But we're about full, so we'll be heading back shortly. Hasn't been too bad of an evening. We've picked up a lot of resources. We've got 2 more types of trees, so we've got 3 of the 4 types of trees now. We got our sheep wool, so now we can finally make a bed. And we also know that sheep are close by, so we can always go after that as well. Let's go ahead and get the wood. And we're at midday, so we're going to be heading back shortly, but let's get one more. We even got a few things I wasn't expecting to get. So I think we did pretty well for a trip out. 7. Okay, that's good. Just take a look around, make sure we didn't lose anything. And let's take our shears over here, put the compass back in our hand, and put the sword back, and we can start heading back now. One thing I would have liked to find is pumpkins. I'll tell you more about pumpkins later, but pumpkins are a key ingredient in certain kinds of torchlight, as well as iron golems, and ooh, look at that, sugarcane. We've got sugarcane, but it'd always be nice to have a little more to start out our garden with. Okay. One thing about jungles is it's very easy to get turned around. That's why I've made sure that we had our compass with us before we went out. And take a different way back. We got a little chocolate, so we're okay with that. And if you notice the vines, we can crawl up the vines. We're at midday, but one thing, let's try and get some sand while we're here. Look at that, even got cactus now. See the cactus over there? Let's go ahead and grab some of those. Now the cactus doesn't make anything useful for us, but if we do use it in making, I need to free up space for the cactus. You notice I'm just kind of digging in the direction we're going to go home anyways, so. It's kind of messy and leaves a jagged trail through here, but okay, we've got a full torch, so let's go ahead and eat. We go down 3, put that 2. Now we're pretty much full, so we can't really carry anything else, so let's just go home, especially being it's already getting towards evening. And I think we might be able to make it back. Might be a little past midnight when we get back, but I mean, we're already starting to fight off zombies and skeletons. I think we'll be okay. Now if we keep in mind where the sheep are, we can come back and get those shortly, because there's a bunch of them here, and that's not too far away from our house. Look at that, another cow. We have, let's get rid of the bone. Okay, we're good. Probably shouldn't be doing that, being we're running short on time, but be careful not to fall down in any holes. That would be rather disastrous, being we're running short on time already. And none of this looks familiar yet. Oh, this might be where we got our chickens from. Lots of chicken eggs, but we're already full up, so let's just start. This will help us find them. We have plenty of torches, so this will also help us find the way to the sheep. And look, our home. And just as night falls, close the gate. Now if you notice, while we were gone, the grass didn't grow much further. That was to be expected. While we're out, everything pretty much goes to a stop. So essentially the memory section for this portion will not be in memory when we're out, so it won't. We got 5 cows, and as you notice, even our plants didn't even really grow while we were out, but that's okay. So our seeds are here. We got okay. We're not ready to grow our trees yet, so we got spruce, oak, and jungle. The oak wood's not really going to help us yet. The jungle wood, we're going to use some of that to grow chocolate. The leather we can put away. We're not making dyes yet, so we'll put that away as well, along with the yellow flowers. The string, we're not ready for that. We can cook that, but mushroom, no use for that yet. We want to keep 3 of those, but the rest we'll put away. This vines, we won't need those right now. The sand we'll keep for cooking later. Make glass out of it. So we want to breed some more cows. We'll probably want to plant some. Probably want to plant that. Want to make our chicken coop. So we'll go ahead and take our wood because we're going to be making a coop for our chickens. We don't need those right now, or do we need those? We'll cook that, and so we're doing pretty good. We'll take that out of there, put the meat in there to cook, and that's the reason we ended up killing the cows, was because now we've got a decent supply of food and we didn't even have to hurt our own cows for it. So let's go ahead and put that in there. We'll take the bucket back. We'll take, and we're going to need lots of fences. So let's go ahead and do this. That'll give us 64. And we're going to make a bunch of fences out of that. Now we also need a gate, at least one, probably more. In fact, I'm going to show you a better way of doing this. So let's go ahead and make a bunch of those. We have plenty of wood now, so don't be too stingy with worrying about that. But we'll also need, to make our garden, we're going to need some dirt and probably a little more water as well. So let's go ahead and take water up with us. Make another infinite water supply. Now if you notice, okay, we got 5 cows. So let's go ahead and breed up a few. That'll give us 7. Okay, that's good. At first, let's go ahead and we'll make a small chicken coop at first. One problem with coops I've noticed recently is that the animals escape. Don't worry about that too much, but just keep in mind that you may have to chase down your animals. Actually, I wanted it down one more than that. I'll show you in a minute why this is going on. Animals, because they escape, make this a little more difficult. So what I do is I dig down 2. Then I drop in the dirt, which will turn to grass as soon as we can get that down here. go ahead and put the dirt down. And then take and put the fence even on the wall side. As I told you last time about the baby cow that we lost that died, this should keep them from smothering in the walls. I don't know 100% for sure it's going to work, but it should. Now we take our 16 chicken eggs and hopefully we get at least 2 chickens out of it. Good. Okay, 3 chickens. That's a good start. And we go ahead and give them some light, so we'll put torches in the corners. That ought to keep the chickens happy. Okay, next order of business. The grass isn't down here yet. We're not going to worry about that too much yet. And we can feed the chickens. Either we can feed them the seeds and they'll grow babies for us, but that's not necessary. They'll also give us eggs and we can just break the eggs like that and continue making babies that way. Good cow, good cow. Keep up the good job. Oh, I was going to make the bed. One thing you want to do to set your spawn point, in case we died, we would go back to our original spawn point. Luckily for us, that's not too far away from here. But we go in this configuration, we make a bed, and when we put the bed down, it's 2 things. One, if we die, instead of going up out there in the open, if we die, it will put us wherever our bed is. So for now, we could always just place our bed like here would be a nice place. And then if anything happens, we'll just reappear here. Now, because it's nighttime, almost daytime, let's go ahead and just right click on it. We'll sleep. And it's morning, so our spawn point's reset. That doesn't mean our compass spawn point, because if you notice our compass, it's still pointing outside, but it's the place that will be revived if anything happens to us. Now we want to continue on with making our garden. Now we're going to dig out further than this later on, so don't worry about it, but we're probably going to make everything in here grass anyways. So we're not losing anything by doing this. All we're doing is giving ourselves a chance to grow some of this stuff now, rather than wait for when we're finally ready. So go ahead and take our bucket. Gonna put that one there. And we're gonna put that one there. Now that'll fill in the middle one for us. We're gonna take one more and put that one there. If you notice, these are all stable, but that one's gonna, what I took from there, and now I'm able to make all that. So with just 4 buckets, I was able to fill in a strip that long. So sugarcane will only grow directly next to water. It'll grow on sand or dirt. Theoretically, it grows better on sand. In practice, nobody really seems to notice a difference. Now, another thing is we got to move that torch. It will only, out in the wild, it'll grow 4 high, but in once it's harvested, it'll only grow 3 high. So we're good to go here. On the height, we've got our chickens, sugarcane, our cows are going good. We finally got a bed. Now let's go ahead and grow some cocoa beans. And again, we can move this later on. So we're just going to put one, oops. Let's go ahead and take our cocoa beans and right click, right click, right click, right click, right click, right click, and go ahead and put some more light there. Most things are happier to grow when they have plenty of light. So that'll give us cocoa beans, which will be used for making chocolate chip cookies, and it can also be made for dyeing things brown. So we've got our sugar cane, we've got our chicken coop taken care of, we've got our cocoa beans growing, we've got our basic wood types all selected and ready to go, and our home is starting to grow up a little bigger. So what we're going to do is continue digging in here. This is kind of a really plain design, not really a thriving type house, but we haven't even started deciding if we're going to use wood floors or we're going to use stone. I'm kind of partial to stone myself, but let's go ahead and dig this all out. Show you another trick here. As spaces start getting bigger, you'll notice that we have our torches on the walls, but that doesn't really help us with this spot right here. So what we do is we can kind of somewhere about in the middle, we put a piece of block right there like that, and drop torches on the side of it and make ourselves a kind of a chandelier. Not exactly strategically placed, but right now it'll keep it lit up, as this is just our initial place. And as you notice, the the chocolate beans is already starting to grow. So let's go ahead and drop the other stuff off. One thing you want to probably do is, let's take out this, and that'll let us walk, believe it or not, we can actually walk on the fence, which is nice because now we get a better view. So we should have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's pretty good.